I think this is a good one because this is something that all new hams have, and it's mic fright. So, Joe, what can you tell me about mic fright?
Oh, yeah. So my first time in front of a microphone. Many years ago at a college radio station, not to be named, I was in front of a microphone for the first time, trying to spin the oldies. I don't know what I was trying to do. And you get over it. I mean, once you get on the air, you get over it and you're having fun. The problem is that most technicians run into is they make a call on the repeater and no one comes back to them. So they automatically think that it's their fault. It's not your fault. Even if you screw everything up, it's not your fault. It's just the way things are. So the easier thing to do would be to find someone with your same issues, meaning they're also a ham. That's an issue. And make a schedule, schedule a contact with them. And, if that's a friend, it should be no problem. You get on the air, you talk about this and that. And then, after 5-10 minutes, someone else is probably going to chime in. And then you're going to talk to someone else. And, by the time you have 2 or 3 people, you got a little bit of a round table going. And, then you get pretty used to it, is really what it comes down to. And you go from there. Now, HF, of course, a little bit different. You're calling CQ on 40 or 20 meters for the first time, and you don't know who or what you're going to get. But always remember, the simple rules about a conversation. Talk about the weather, talk about sports, talk about their radios or shacks. Stay away from politics, stay away from religion. Yep. You got a lot of topics to cover there.
And I think you kind of segued into my point in that, mic fright is it. I think it's not a fear of actually talking into the microphone, but it's more a fear of not knowing what to say. And I've seen this, in business settings. I've done a lot of networking groups. You go in and what's the first thing you do when you go to a mixer? Well, you got to meet people. Well, how do you meet people? Well, you got to walk up to them. You got to say hi. Well, what do you say? And and that's what they usually tell you to work on. What's called your elevator pitch. It's your pickup line. Pickup line. Things what you can say about yourself in 60 seconds or less, 30 seconds or less, what it takes from going from the 2nd to the 5th floor in an elevator. And what's it? Those Dale Carnegie training courses. They did a thing where you would, it was like sort of a glove motif. You talk about yourself, you talk about your family, you talk about your friends, where you live, what you do. Those 5 things.
Yeah, same thing in ham radio. Talk about your rig, talk about your dog, talk about the cat that sits on your rig.
Exactly. Yeah. Talk about work if you feel like it, or what your neighborhood, what your community is like, and once you kind of think of it in those terms, then it gets easier and easier as you go. It works. I've seen people, in networking situations, the first time they got up in a room and introduced themselves, they were, it was like scared stiff, totally like catatonic. And, within a few times of doing it, they start to open up and really, really kind of talk about themselves. So
I've been in those networking meetings. In fact, the first time I actually met Michael, believe it or not, was in a networking meeting. It was. And he probably says I was probably the quietest fat guy there.
I don't know. I've seen a lot of quiet people at networking meetings. Right. So, and I just saw a comment here because Josh just kind of popped up here from the crash course, and he likes to say, I tell people to ask how your radio sounds and ask what the other operator is using and if they like it and why. So hams love
great question. I mean, there.
Hams love to talk about their radios. So get on with a signal report. Do a signal check, and somebody will tell you it's either good or it sounds terrible, and you can kind of go from there. Hey, thanks for watching. Do you have any questions or comments? well, please leave them in the comment area below. I'll filter through them, and who knows, maybe yours will end up in our next Your Questions Answered live stream. For more articles and information, though, please check out my blog at www.jpole-antenna.com. Your support of this channel drives the production of future videos, so check us out on Patreon. Patrons gain access to exclusive content, and our patrons help keep the mission alive. That's over on patreon.com/kb9vbr antennas. Also, give us that thumbs up if you like this video, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button, especially if it's your first time here. That's your best way to be notified when a new video is released. Well, that's it for this time. I'm Michael, KB9VBR. Have a great day, and 73.